morning. Today is September the 14th. We are local today because due to some real life drama, not that being out here isn't real life, but some life drama, we didn't really have a plan for the morning, so we're out here kind of winging it. So that's going to be the plan for today. Do have some things to discuss that are not, hopefully not drama related, because I didn't really see any drama during the week, and that's fine because there's too much of that on average anyway. So we're going to get moving, see what we find in the local area today, and we'll go from there. Come on along, and that's about all I have for the intro. Thanks. Organized academia. And in that regard, you do have a point. A point. And I can offer up the example of psychology, because 90% of the founding principles of psychology have been refuted by the shit that came after it. Kind of making you wonder, how valid are the foundations for this science? There's some doctors who would say the same thing of chiropractors and their thing. I think there's a basis for some of it, but delving to a slight tangent on the subject, then you see like the chiropractors on YouTube going into ancient Chinese medicine stuff. Some of the weirder things like cupping, which is basically taking a wooden cup or a glass bottle, in some cases heating it up, and effectively using this thing on your back to make a big-ass hickey. And the theory they present is that this draws out the quote-unquote impurities because you see a big purple hickey. And, well, I doubt it does any real damage to your person other than the shock of having a big purple hickey. In the case of the most extreme example of it, I openly question the claim that it's drawing anything out either, though. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of the people that get this done are probably going the first time just to have the experience to see what they think of it. And then any rational person can like, okay, that was weird, but no damage done, but still bullshit. But this is the nature of the scientific method. If something is tried and proves not to be effective, you move on to something else. And this is probably why I probably don't do Bigfooting with certain people anymore, because the thing that left me more as a willing to collaborate but otherwise solo act is some people get set in their ways and they don't take that second of reflection to think, is what I'm doing working? And the answer to a lot of it is no. In some cases, it's actually reinforcing delusion, which is worse. So that doesn't work either. Let's keep going, see how far we can get into this. Anyway, newer methodologies. I think the newest thing to pop out, it's a variation on some stuff that was there already, but eDNA, which is really, again, land sample. So if you have track in the mud, you take a mud sample. The hope being you get some DNA off it, or you see like a muddy handprint or something on a rock. I would think that's probably harder to get a sample, but still the potentiality is there anyway. And then, hold on. Something's in the woodwork with me. Hello. Hey, bear. Keep walking, bear. I didn't see the bear, but precautionary, because in this kind of weather they are common in here, and I don't want to have a surprise encounter if it's avoidable. Haven't had an aggressive dealing with one. I'm good with that trend too, so. Anyway. You got land samples and then you got water samples, so my thought there, I guess you're looking for maybe urine or something. That would give you biomaterial. And then you have the obvious nature of scat samples where you get to see what the hell whatever you get is eating, which, delving into the forestry playbook, known diets of known animals gives you a most likely suspect kind of a thing. So that's my thought on eDNA, and then you have other things too, but I have to go back to the class. There were some other things they were doing. But let me do some reflecting on that. I'm going to take a segment break very quickly while I do that. Maybe water the plants, and we'll be back in a bit. Two, I would rather go out and make the effort and look, if only to learn something new, rather than be some guy who probably hasn't spent a whole lot of time in the woods. Call it a hunch. And, you know, make statements anytime. And here's their other classic refrain. I've covered this in a previous video. Their argument is you don't have to disprove a negative. You have to prove the positive. My take on that is, if you're making a declarative, like declaring something is absolute truth, then bullshit. You do have the onus at that point of proving it. And for somebody like that, field work is useless. It's not there. You're wasting your time. And no, some of us enjoy the outdoors. Some of us enjoy hiking. Some of us enjoy learning about that environment. And even if we never find the monkey man, we still went out and had a great time looking. So you would be wrong. And your limited view of the world, frankly, is sad to me, if I'm being completely blunt. So while I am not woo, some may think I'm more skeptical, but I have actually encountered enough environmentally related weirdness. When somebody tells me an interesting story and it has some plausibility to it, I'm willing to go and look. Because, sorry for the motion, kind of going through the woodwork. I don't think that looking is a waste of time. I think that's how you learn stuff. And for somebody who is just that brazenly anti-learning, and that kind of is the mentality, the way it's presented. You have like a whole subset of like religious folk that are like, it's the will of, the will of the Almighty, whatever form you're pushing the sales pitch for. And that's a cop-out. So let's say it is the will of the, well, how did he go about doing it? It would still be interesting to know. A little bit more satisfaction to be had there, and just go, ooh, that's neat. I'm going to stop from going into a political rant, just because I'm not doing that today. I will say this, though. On a more petty, I'm going to have to cover a little bit of gossip or community stuff, just because I do admin some groups on Facebook. First of all, To the Vietnamese guy who's always born on February 23rd, I see you trying to join the Skeptics Roundtable. Stop it. You're not getting in. I see you for the little scamming shithead that you are. You're not getting in. You're wasting your time. Like 3 in a day sometimes, it gets old. So you're wasting your time. You can keep trying, but that is a waste of your time. And I guess that's all I had for that. Anyway, that's kind of... Oh, yeah, if you have politics in your feed and it keeps popping up in mine, I'm going to block you. You may not care, and that's fine. You have a right to your opinion. I, on the other hand, do not have to pay homage to it, so there's that too. Anyway, that's all I had for today. Thoughts on scientific method that were put into my head by a good podcast covering some interesting territory intellectually. And there are people who do waste their time on both sides. They try to attribute it to silly things, or they try to just poo-poo it all together. And like I said, if you already made up your mind to that degree, why do you care? Go collect stamps or something. That's all I got. So like and subscribe and comment. Today's going to be kind of a short one. Just like I said, I had no plan today, so I'm winging it. And that's all I really want to cover. So we're going to be on our way. And again, thanks for listening. And if you're going to comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't, tell me what you'd like to have me see, or tell me why I suck. But I mean, go into detail so at least I have some criticism to respond to. But other than that, that's going to do it. So bye.